Nessa girl, we pushing through and pumping this morning, bitch. It's 6:07 and this the fourth video I done did, goddammit. I'm feeling good. Y'all got to excuse my hat and wig changes. I'm trying to keep it a little variety for you. At any rate, bitch, 911 emergency. Reconnect the community. Yes, honey, we had a lot of emergencies on this last episode of Married to Medicine, and great things that there's a lot of doctors in the place to help us get through it. So the episode opens up with Heavenly down to the house helping the Lord with her homework. Then Daddy come home and Daddy sit down on the sofa and she talks to Daddy about the spat that she had on the previous episode with Mariah, in which, Mariah says, Damon been out there sleeping around and she got receipts. It's funny because it opened my eyes to something. Sometimes we're so busy being catty at our target that we don't realize how it hurts the other people as collateral damage. And I think Dr. Damon was really disappointed. He's like, damn, y'all get into y'all little shit, but why would she do me like that? Like, I thought me and her was cool. Me and her don't have no issue. And the thing about it is, y'all, with my Mariah bias and all, y'all know Mariah lying. Like, by a show of hands, who honestly believes that Mariah don't seen, heard anything about Dr. Damon cheating on Heavenly? Like, that shit don't even begin to feel real. You know what I'm saying? And Damon was like, and I just hate it. And as far as Mariah is concerned, like, sis, I get it. The stars have aligned. You've been promoted back to main cast member, and this is now going to be your season to be the star, to be the front and center. You're the one front and the center. We happy for you. But what I don't want Mariah to do is use this vigor as reason to try to come in and steal every scene and just be super damn extra for no reason. Because I ain't gonna lie, that saying that Dr. Damon was cheating on Heavenly, I got a receipt, so I need to pull out the receipts. It would seem to me that episode number 2 would be you pulling out the receipts. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, we gonna let it ride. Contessa, girl, I need you to bottle up and package the level of restraint and poise that you have, because your daughter was in the kitchen and she damn near died. And Contessa was just as cool as a cucumber. And I know that's the way you're supposed to be during a medical emergency. Not to mention Contessa has the training or whatever, so she knew exactly what to do. But I was still panicked through the TV. I'm like, your whole daughter almost whole died. And then I guess I was expecting a little more after you cleared her airways. I was expecting you to then break down and cry and be like, oh, my baby, you just went back to cooking and cleaning and sitting down and talking with Dr. Scott. And I'm sitting here like, am I the only person who's seen this little girl almost die? And Contessa is like, go do your homework. Like, Contessa, you get the Did That award for that. That shit was impressive. And like she said in her confessional, some other nurse or nanny or housekeeper or whatever might have panicked. You damn real, because, yeah. And now here's the thing that gets me though, how quickly Contessa caught it. I didn't catch it. All I saw was the little girl run around the corner. Next thing I know, Contessa's flipping her upside down and the girl is throwing up. You know what I'm saying? The little girl didn't even seem panicked. And I guess that's because mommy was so cool, calm, and collected. That medical training, that military training, that's something else, girl. Contessa, you get an A in my book for what you did on this episode. Contessa talking about her father with Dr. Scott. What I love about Married to Medicine is they add new characters in time enough that when the old characters are getting stale, we still have new information to find out with the new people. And I think that's why Married to Medicine does a very good job of just staying current and not having to deal in fake, scripted, manufactured, or over-exaggerated drama like some of its predecessors. Contessa talking about her father, that was deep, that he was on substance abuse and, that he wasn't always there for the family and that he's getting, sicker now and he may have some health challenges going on. That was, really sad, but I like the introspective look into things that Contessa was able to share with us. Some of that Iyanla Vanzant Fix My Life stuff. How she was saying it took her growing up to realize that it wasn't her, that her father was sick. And y'all, I'm going to take this as a moment. You know, I think if we all look through our families at people who are alcoholics, crackheads, or have any other kind of addiction, we've been conditioned socially to demonize these people. I don't want his crackhead ass around here. Kid his ass from around here. If he just stopped, get off them damn drugs and get his life together. If the motherfucker stopped drinking and get his life together. And I'm going to tell you something. We psychologists, psychiatrists, the medical community is now showing us, unfortunately, you know, a lot of us feel bitter because they didn't do it for us during the crack epidemic, but they're doing it through the opioid epidemic that predominantly affects white people. Nevertheless, the information is equally as valuable. Never, better late than never. We're starting to find out that we've concluded that addiction is a health problem. Like, once somebody gets addicted to that stuff, they can't stop. And I think it helps us in looking at it as a health problem and not something recreational that people just like to do, and dealing with our family members with a bit more compassion and a bit more restraint as far as our negative emotions. Like Contessa said, nobody can have kids and not fucking want to be there. That addiction got a hold of them. And I think as we start to continue to treat our family members and loved ones like it's a medical condition, we can get them the appropriate help they need versus shunning them, outcasting them, banning them from the family, and saying to them, why don't you just stop? At the very end of the day, it ain't that easy. When you look at these people on intervention, these crackheads on the corner, honestly and truthfully, who in their right mind wants to live under a bridge, not be able to take no bath, smell like pee, begging on the corner for change, ridden with diseases and stuff? That's not a choice. Nobody, and even when you get to that point, nobody wants to continue to be that way. If it was just as easy as them resisting temptation and saying no, they would. Last I'm saying on this, and I'm gonna get back to the soft stuff. Addiction, it's just like when your brain tells you suck in for air, exhale carbon dioxide. Just like when your brain tells you to swallow. That's what those people, after they get hooked on that shit, their brain tells them they have to have it. So y'all stop with the judgment when it comes to addiction, and help your family out. Look at it as a health problem and get the people the necessary help they need, and stop judging folks. You know, the scene with Quad and the Sister Circle girls, oh, that was such a soft spot in my heart, because y'all, we had some of the best lunches when we would get off work and go eat, and I miss Rashawn and Selena and Quad so much, and Kiana. I miss them so much, and I need to go have lunch with Selena and Rashawn real soon. Now, what I did not like was how on the previous episode, Toya made mention of the fact that Quad was like, oh, I'm gonna go hang with my real friends, and then Married to Medicine presented Rashawn and Selena as Quad's new friends. I don't want this TV to create a division between the Married to Medicine girls and the Sister Circle girls, because it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if Rashawn and Selena are filming with them all throughout the season, and Married to Medicine is painting them as the people that Quad ditched the Married to Medicine girls for, I can see that causing some problems and some unnecessary problems for some people that don't need to be all in they mix with it. I love my Rashawn and my Selena, and I'm gonna see them girls real soon. But you know, it did speak volumes to the fact, and I can speak on this personally, there is a real sisterhood there with the Sister Circle cast. Like, we all like each other, we all love each other, we all have each other's back. And that was an environment where we were able to all go to work and tell each other what was going on, and just truly be supported, and it not be that fickle reality TV shit, people patting you on your back but they're mad behind your back, talking about you behind your back and really rooting for your downfall. So what Quad is feeling with Selena and Rashawn is 100% genuine. I can vouch for that. I don't even work there anymore, and still part of the family. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still have that brotherhood, sisterhood, and it was real from the get-go, and it's real now. So I get, that's just a little introspection, because, you know, I'm kind of woven into some of this. Nevertheless, moving right along. Eugene done worked himself like a dog to get their ass out of debt, and Toya about to run them right back into it. Let me tell you something. Toya don't mind spending money she ain't worked for. I don't understand how the man get out of debt that you go spend another $40,000, $30,000, $50,000, whatever the hell you spent on this damn party. Like, it just, Toya loved to throw parties. And like Heavenly said, now one thing I do like, when Eugene and Toya got out that car and they walked to that door, it made me feel good inside, because I was like, Toya really goes above and beyond to make her man feel special, wanted, and desired. Flash forward to Heavenly's confessional. She was like, shit, she ain't got shit else to do. And that is the honest to goodness truth. She don't have shit else to do. And I think that's why Toya gets so upset when people don't make it to her events, because what it is people put into their careers is what Toya puts into her homemaking. And when people don't, let's face it, a lot of us get our value from what we do for a living. A lot of us get our value from what we do day to day. Like, y'all, if I'm not talking in front of this camera and doing this, I feel worthless. I do. My identity and my self-worth is tied to this. It's what I do, and I'm just keeping it real. Jackie's identity is being a doctor. Her self-worth is tied to being the best doctor she can be. Mary, who's a police officer, her identity is I am Mary the police officer, and her self-worth is tied to it. Toya's self-worth is tied to how good of a homemaker she could be, how good of a Susie homemaker, perfect Patty she can be. And when she's gone out of her way to put on this big thing this is where Toya shines in this homemaking capacity, and other people discount it or she perceives it as a slight. That's when she gets catty, like what she did with Contessa, and we're going to talk about that. I guess let's talk about it now. You know, Scott shows up and, you know, he's like, Contessa couldn't make it. She tells the people, or whatever the case may be. The ladies let Toya know that Contessa couldn't show. And then, in my opinion, Toya was dead ass wrong. She should have called me, this, that, and the third. Then Toya did something that was very distasteful. I don't care what nobody say. Toya was 100% wrong. This damn dog always over here doing something. Excuse me, y'all. Toya was 100% wrong for getting on the microphone, passive-aggressively singling out Contessa and then being catty. And then Scott caught it. So Scott was like, you know, unfortunately, you know, she couldn't make it because her father was sick. Then Toya, tacky Toya, you in the microphone in front of guests, embarrassing Scott and his wife and saying that she should have called you. And I love the fact that Scott chin-checked your ass and was like, she don't have to call you. She prioritized her life in the matter of what's important. And he's absolutely right. This woman's father comes before some party for your damn husband. Like, and I just don't understand. And then, now Heavenly called Contessa. I don't know why they got Contessa on the phone with Toya with this microphone. Then she's explaining to you. Then you further being catty, being like, well, it's good. You didn't need to come no way because the last time you came, you was talking about how much we paid for that. It's so fine, girl. Take care of your daddy, girl. Okay, bye. That shit was not cool. And I'm going to tell you something. Like, it looks like on the next episode, Contessa is basically like, I don't want to fuck with you. And I don't blame her for doing so. Like, and Eugene was right as hell for getting on Toya about it. I just think, Eugene, you need to check Toya a little harder. Like, not so, oh, you were wrong. No, like, I'm disappointed in you so much so that she feels embarrassed so she don't do that shit again. That shit was not cool, Toya. It was tacky as fuck. It was tacky as fuck. And what I'm not understanding is you are having a party for your husband, a promotion party. In the grand scheme of this lady's family, how do you think that's important? She sent her husband. Scott was a representative for her. Now, it'd be totally different if Scott them didn't show up. Really, it wouldn't. But the fact that Scott was there to represent for the Contessa household, that should have been enough. If her husband ain't the best representative for her, then who is? Her husband told you what it is. Why did she need to call you? Hats off to Scott for getting her right without getting nasty with her and making it an issue where you and her husband needed to then get into it. Simone comes to Cecil's house with that picture. You know something I don't understand about Cecil and Simone? They were always my favorite medicine wife couple. Contessa and Scott is now. And Heavenly and Daddy are close number 2. But they were always my favorite couple because I admired how easily they talk to one another. Like, they seem to be very open and transparent with each other. But it's so odd because communication is one of their issues that they list as one of their big problems when they're talking with the counselor. And I'm just kind of confused because I'm like, shit, I wish that I had other adults in my life that I got platonic friendships with that I can just talk so freely. Like, to me, Simone articulates what she's feeling very effectively. And I think Cecil does too. So I'm not understanding, you know, where their communication problems are coming from, and it ain't for me to understand. I do respect the fact, though, that they are easing back into things slowly. I do. Once you're almost on the brink of divorce, to be talking about, okay, we're going to leave New York, hop back in the same house and get married together, that ain't nothing. I'm glad that they are like re-getting to know each other, re-dating one another, holding each other accountable, you know, getting to know the new them all over again. I completely support it. Hey, Eva girl. Eva went in there to see Dr. Jackie. Let me tell y'all something. Dr. Jackie done flipped it and reversed it on y'all ass. Dr. Jackie said, Married to Medicine has been one big advertisement. Everybody know, number one, if you a celebrity, you come to Dr. Jackie. Number 2, you know, if you just a regular woman that got insurance within her network, you want to go to Dr. Jackie. I would not be surprised if you call Dr. Jackie office right now and reception fish tell you they're not accepting no new clients. Like Dr. Jackie gives me, she got the whole Atlanta on lock. And I'm not implying that Simone doesn't, but Simone, you need to get some more PR and get some more of them celebrity people in there with you. I see Heavenly doing it. Heavenly be doing everybody's teeth. It's just good marketing, and it drives regular working class folks in there. Now, Simone, when you had first opened your office, you had some billing problems. Now, girl, if you get some of the love and hip hop people, some of the housewives people in there to film with you, baby, while they having these babies, these Little Women Atlanta people in there, get some of these people in there, Simone. It'll drive people to you. You ain't got to worry about the billing. I'm just telling you what I know from the accountant in me. Is it me? Or that Dr. Heavenly went to see about anger management looked like he was fucking Eddie Long. Like, that man looked like a crooked, greasy pastor. He looked like a damn funeral home director with that too small ass suit he had on. And where the fuck was they at? In this man's house? Like, listen, that man felt like somebody who was dead and like came back to life in zombie form. It was just something about him that rubbed my spirit 100% wrong. But the fact that Heavenly was there and she cried, and I love when she said, I am committed to you helping me through this. I am committed to you helping me through this. I'm committed to you helping me through this. I dig it. Here's what I believe about Heavenly. I don't believe Heavenly have an anger management problem. I don't. I believe Heavenly has a reluctance to let go of part of her identity that's been her all her damn life. And I can speak so freely on it because me and Heavenly are from the same place. We're actually from the same neighborhood. Carroll City, Miami Gardens. We're from the same exact neighborhood. She went to New Orleans. I went to Carroll City. So everything about Heavenly's upbringing, I completely understand inside and out. And from Miami, the first thing we say out our mouth when somebody says something to you is your mama. And it's bitch this and bitch everything. You know, bitch to us don't hold the same negative connotation as it does for other people around the world. Boys call, dudes in Miami call females bitch, you know, in the midst of arguments and stuff, and it don't carry that same weight as it does in other parts of the country. And that's unfortunate, but it's just true tea. So I understand, Heavenly, where we come from. Somebody say something, this, but you ain't finna try me, your mama this. I was the same exact way. And granted, I can't put my situation on her, but I just realized the fact that I'm able at 35 years old to realize, all right, Q, you know, that shit is old, it's passe, it's hood, it's where you come from, you know better. Stop doing it. You know, it's further evidentiary of the fact that Heavenly can control herself, because I refuse to believe that if Heavenly was in a professional environment, she would do that. I believe that if Heavenly was in a professional environment and some shit like that popped off, she would walk away. She tried to de-escalate the situation. She'd go to the back. She'd leave. It's when she's in social settings And I get it. It's a trigger that, it's a reflex. We're conditioned that the moment somebody say that, then you automatically do this. Sometimes it is an auto response. But once you make up in your mind that you don't want to be that, and once you acknowledge that that behavior is wrong, it's really easy to fix. At least for me it was. But at first it took me saying, all right, Q, that shit is ghetto. All right, Q, that shit is beneath you. All right, that shit is childish. All right, I don't want to be that. And so now when somebody pop the fuck up, I just look at them stupid. You know what I'm saying? That your mama don't come out so easily as it used to. And I'm 35. Heavenly, you got 2-3 kids, a husband, and a whole lot of career and a whole lot more experience over me. You can control what the fuck you do. Bitch, you ain't been on no damn spiritual journey this long. And if you have, you need to fire June Tankard as your damn driver, because she's steering you in the wrong direction. Heavenly and Simone get to the party early. I guess ain't no need to talking about that. Mariah gets to the party throwing shade off rip. You know, I already talked about her stealing scenes or whatever. We don't need to talk about that. Eugene was confused as hell at that party. That was real cute that he was confused. He didn't know what was going on. They was like, surprise. And Eugene was like, they're like, surprise, Eugene. And he's like, for what? Then Toya had to explain it to him. He was like, oh, I really like that. It was really cute. Mariah's whole... When Heavenly said, hi, Mariah, I don't talk to dentists. That shit was funny as hell, and I'm glad that they were able to laugh. You know, Heavenly told her the truth. She's like, I don't know how to joke with you because you blow things out of proportion. And rightfully so. We see that y'all made up, so obviously y'all have gotten past whatever it was. Grow slow with the hoe. I want to say shouts out to Mariah that this season she done got her messy ass scrote bound mama on the Facebook Live talking all kind of shit, and she keep Miss Lucy in the background so me and others like me don't have to drag her ornery, old, mean, nasty, previously used to be a booster ass. And the people in Chattanooga told me that Lucy used to steal. Child, did y'all see how Heavenly flew her ass over there to Whitefish when she was over there talking to her husband? That's how I know Dr. Damon ain't in these damn streets. Heavenly said Dr. Damon got one rule when it comes to talking to other women. Don't. Okay, I know that's right, Heavenly. But Heavenly, you looked a little crazy. Now, you know your husband ain't finna cheat on you or do nothing crazy in a party full of people and cameras watching him. I wish you would have just had enough, whatever, to just let it ride and let him handle it. You look crazy flying across the room and the man just having conversation with Whitefish. Like, no. Last but not least, y'all, did y'all see the way Dr. Jackie looked at Curtis when Curtis was talking about being in support of G and he understand what it was like being on the outs and all that? And Dr. Jackie was like, no comment. Curtis was like, what's that look about? And she was like, Chad, you don't even want me to explore what this look was about. Married to Madison, y'all. These hoes got it going on. Y'all drop that in these comments and let me know what y'all think about the episode and what you think about what I said. Be sure, y'all, to like and subscribe. We on the way to bigger things. Something I cannot divulge just yet, but I need y'all to share these videos, like and subscribe. We got something big coming down the pipeline, a partnership that I've entered in with YouTube. Some promises that have been made, some contracts that have been signed. Catch. Y'all know I always have something big when I allude to something with y'all, but can never tell you. Just trust the doll on this one. And I'll call you later, girl. Bye.